Hey guys, so I just wanted to share my kind of book review of the Lasting Ever book by Rebecca St. James and Cubbie Fink, her husband. Um, I over the last couple years, I've really enjoyed just reading like documentaries and autobiography or biographies and autobiographies about other people, and it's just because it's so encouraging to see and to just read about what God has done in other people's lives. So I kind of have set a little bit of a goal to read like one book a month because that feels the most realistic to me with everything else going on in life. So in January, I read this book and I thought I would just share some of the things about it that I really enjoyed, which um, just to start, I think it's really neat how they wrote this book, that they did it kind of in sections from both of their perspectives. So she would write a little bit about her childhood, and then he would write a little bit about his, and you kind of got really a lot of the backstory of different things. And um, so one of the things in here, this was written after Unsung Hero was released, so you kind of got a little bit of the background of that as well, and some of the scenes and just talking about, things that were added to the movie that were more for dramatic effect, but maybe not didn't actually happen, but you still got the point across. That was kind of neat to see. And just kind of like what she was thinking as a teenager coming up, going through the music industry and getting started. And you kind of got a little bit more of a background into what she was thinking and what she was feeling and the struggles that she went through that maybe we didn't see in the movie. So that was really neat. But I feel like the theme of this book really was when things don't go the way that you thought and the way that you wanted, or things didn't turn out the way that you thought they were going to be. Like she talks about her music career and how I think she had one vision in her mind of what it was going to be like, but then when it came down to it, it didn't exactly, things just were not the way that she thought they would be, and maybe not the way that she wanted them to be, and it was a real struggle. Um, and so I thought I would read a quick, just an excerpt that I thought really summed up the book pretty well. Toward the end of the book, she is talking about just going through hard things, and she said life doesn't always add up according to our understanding. It seems obvious now because Jesus himself, perfect and sinless, was not exempt from the challenges and pain of life in this world. In hindsight, I've come to realize that my faith had become transactional in nature, which is humbling to admit. We can't trade our works for blessings. We've since learned to trust God is at work in all our situations, the easy and the hard. We cannot earn His love or any blessings in this life. It's all His grace and mercy. Every good gift and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father. James 1:17. I just this paragraph I really resonated with because I think it's an easy trap for all of us to fall into, that I know that I did, just thinking like, oh, if I do this and I do this and I do this, then God will bless me with a husband. And if I follow all the rules and do everything just right, then I'll get the blessings in return. And that's not exactly the attitude that Jesus wants us to come into serving him with. We should be serving him because we love him and because we want to please him, not because of what we think we're going to get out of it. So I just that whole paragraph there was really just resonated because I understood exactly what she was saying. And I did think also her and Cubbie were both involved in the True Love Waits movement in the like I Kiss Dating Goodbye era, and I did think that they handled that topic very tactfully. And I had kind of addressed this on one of my other videos when I was talking about someone who was saying that maybe we shouldn't pray for our future spouse. And so I kind of addressed this a little bit there. Also, I had a video about someone who felt like they were the reason they were single was because of content like I share on this channel. Um, and the way that they addressed it here was very good. Like, I think with all movements. Like you look at like Martin Luther with the Reformation and everything he stood up for and everything he stood against, and it was all great. But then as time went on and as it spread to other groups and other congregations, it became a little bit different than what it was originally intended to be. And that's what I kind of related to what she was saying with the True Love Waits movement and so forth, is that the intention behind it was that we would strive for purity and that we would strive for remaining pure before God until we met our spouse, and that any of those relations would happen after marriage. And that was great. That was totally what it should be. Um, but then as the movement spread and as it kind of went on to different congregations and different groups and different things, things started to become more legalistic. They became more rules and law based, and it was so much about you can't do this and can't do that. And that's when it started going downhill. And that's why maybe some people in some groups and in whatever they were raised in, the culture that they were raised in, it did kind of turn into a bad thing for some people, because now they're so afraid to do the wrong thing that they don't end up getting married, and they didn't end up getting out there and meeting who they were supposed to meet, or whatever the reason may be. But there are a lot of people that felt that hindered them, and it I don't disagree that that probably did happen. But I did appreciate, like, they did go over that in this book, and I thought they handled the topic very well. Like, we are supposed to strive for those things. The core message of True Love Waits is true, and it is what God wants for us as single people. Um, and so yeah, it was really interesting to hear it from her perspective as someone who was, and his, as a couple who were involved in the movement and who were really they were doing the conferences and they were going out and sharing these things. So so my overall review, very good. I actually couldn't put it down. I actually read it in maybe like a week and a half, just in the evenings, which is not normal for me. Usually it takes me a lot longer to read a book. So I do recommend. I did enjoy it. I enjoyed reading about their lives and their perspective on things, and just how God worked even to bring them together as a couple, um, and the struggles that took place in the waiting and different waiting seasons before and after their marriage, and hardships that they went through. And it was very encouraging just to read how God worked all these things out for them and bless them. So again, that's Lasting Ever by Rebecca St. James and Cubbie Fink. I'll be reading another book in February. If you have any suggestions on book recommendations, specifically like biographies, autobiographies about how God works in people's lives, please feel free to leave it in the comments. And if you've read this book or you're going to read this book, let me know what you think, what your thoughts on it were. I'll leave a link to it also in the description. You can check it out down below. So I hope you enjoy and have a great day.